one wrong move and it could be all over for Neil.
Got no heart rate pump moving. That quarter's not. Slow down, slow down.
It'll be 6 metres wide, so yeah, in some places we'll be taking up the whole road.
Ray Kennedy is in the business of heavy haulage.
Once you get it in your system, you can't get it out of it.
And they don't get much bigger than these monsters.
What's your outside, mate?
That was close. Doing heavy haulage, like, probably one of the best jobs you'll ever get to do.
Yeah, just touch that power line there.
Go bigger the better and throw a bit of a challenge in you, yeah. The load we're picking up is a 785 cat dump truck chassis, 6 metres wide and 80 tonne. We'll be up around the 150 tonne all up.
The two oversized dumpsters will be transported by two heavy-duty prime movers, each hauling a 64-wheel trailer.
Righto, mate, keep coming back at that, eh?
It's not a job for the faint-hearted. Craig Oldham is backing up Ray as the convoy's second driver.
I work well with Ray, and what Ray works well with me. We sort of know what we've got to do and get it done.
Getting the dumpsters loaded is no easy task. The wheelbase on the mammoth machines is wider than the trailers. It's going to take some smart thinking to get the mechanical beasts safely onto the trailers. With over 50 years combined experience in heavy haulage, Ray and Craig have a solution.
Back them up onto them timbers and then back under them.
We'll back it up, we'll put timbers under it, lift it up a bit, put the float under, pick them up, go on.
It's a risky strategy and a delicate balancing act.
Well, you drive the truck now up onto these timbers and get the height up, and then once we do that, Craig will back his trailer underneath then.
Righto!
Ray has to drive the giant 85-tonne dumpster onto tiny 4-inch slabs of wood. It's like parking an elephant on a postage stamp. Miraculously, he does it, but there's a problem.
Flat tyre, mate. Flat tyre on the left-hand side of the dumpy there.
The flat tyre has left the dumpster on a dangerous lean.
Won't get under it because of the bulge.
No.
What can go wrong goes wrong, all the time. There you go, mate.
Breathing air into the 3-metre-high tyres isn't easy.
We need a tyre pumped up here, mate, eh?
Big tyres need big pressure. A whopping 100 pounds per square inch. Craig calls for help.
And our shit won't pump it up. That's the problem, you know what I mean? I'll pick the best one to load.
The heavy haulage team can do nothing but wait for the tyre repair mechanic to arrive.
What's these tyres like?
Oh, this one needs doing.
And this one needs air.
Oh, well, I can pump them all.
It's a nervous wait. The truckers need to be loaded and ready to go by morning to meet their oversized permit deadline.
Where's that f***ing tyre fitter? He's having a long lunch.
2 hours later, the tyre fitter is still a no-show.
We've got to be loaded today because the police and everyone will be here at 5:30 tomorrow morning to go with them, so... Yep. Want to get it done before dark.
With no time to waste, the team bite the bullet.
We're just getting ready, mate. You're going to give it a go, eh?
They decide to load the stricken dumpster despite the flat tyre.
To pick that up, we're going to have to drop that trailer right on its guts.
With a tyre down, the dumpster's on a dangerous lean. Manoeuvring the trailer beneath the narrow gap is a risky move. There are big bucks at stake if the vehicles are damaged.
Damn!
How bad is it?
Oh, about 5 mil.
The dumpster alone is worth over $1 million.
Just? Yeah, all right.
Righto, mate, keep coming back at that, eh?
The arse end over to the left just a smidgen. How's that hook looking?
Whoa! It's tight.
One wrong move here, and someone is going to pay.
Whoa! Hey, Cam, tell him steady, because that's got that trailer down near that now.
You're looking good there, eh?
Just keep it coming to that, mate. We'll be right here.
Ray and his team are trying to position their trailer underneath the 85-ton load. And there's no room to spare.
I think the tyre truck's just turned up.
Oh, the tyre truck's here anyway, Ray.
We need it pumped up anyhow, otherwise we'll never get them blocks under it.
Yeah, well, I reckon that's him, eh?
Yeah, we're looking in there, Craig. Not looking too bad.
I'm very happy with that. You happy with that, Ray?
Oh, yeah, I reckon. What do you think?
Oh, I am too.
Against the odds, the truckers get the crippled dumpster safely onto the trailer,
Oh, man.
just as the emergency tyre fitter finally arrives.
He's turned up, but a little bit after the horse has bolted, you know? We'll get him to pump that one so it's good to go when we unload, and we'll have no dramas then, you know? Oh, we're good to rock and roll.
One enormous machine loaded, one to go.
I'll just start this one. Hopefully it'll start. Here we go.
Second time around, with fully inflated tyres, the delicate balancing act works a treat. The trailer slips easily under the dumpster.
Just a tweak to the left, tweak to the left.
Well, that's it. There, how's it look?
That'll do. Job done. That'll do.
Pleased it's over.
With two super-sized machines fully loaded and ready to transport,
6 hours to load, yeah. But anyhow, we got there.
Ray and Craig can afford to breathe a little easier.
Beer o'clock, Ray. Beer o'clock.
Definitely going to have one tonight, yes.
Ray Kennedy's heavy haulers are ready to hit the road.
5:30 and we're about to leave. Go make some money, mate.
The police escort do final clearance checks on the massive cargo and trucks heading for Mackay.
Once they give us the OK, we're right to go.
The team are keen to get going and make the most of the cool early morning temperatures.
It's going to be 38, so we'll wait till about 10 o'clock, you know, and then we'll probably back off a bit.
We're about to hit the road. Get the show on the go.
Oh, no worries, Craig.
Too easy.
This road show is oversized in every respect. 2 police escorts and 3 pilot vehicles accompany the convoy.
2 loads at 6.5 metres.
Everything's travelling along good now. Temperature's not too hot just yet. We'll wait till the sun comes up and then that'll change.
With a load this big and wide, there are endless challenges to confront on the road.
You'll be right there. Plenty of room with that, right?
Concrete edging and the guardrail over the bridges. Just got to make sure we don't go too close to that and hit it. Ain't got much room to play with.
Hours into the journey, as the temperatures rise, so does the risk of blowing tyres.
It's 37 now, it's saying. So the road temperature would be a bit hotter than that.
Combine extreme heat with the extreme pressure of an 85-ton load, and the convoy's tyres are pushed to the limit.
Just back them down for a couple of Ks and just let everything cool down and, yeah, hope for the best. She's warm enough to do a tyre. Yeah, well, we don't like talking about that side of it, but yeah, so far we're having a good run with tyres. But the minute you start talking about them, you normally jinx yourself, so anything can happen now.
Was that a bit of rubber you ran over?
Ray's premonition comes true.
I wasn't sure, mate. I didn't see any on the ground.
Right.
Fingers crossed it gets us to town.
Luckily for Ray, the giant oversized convoy is only minutes from Longreach, where they can pull off the road.
We're going to negotiate ourselves up through town here and then see if we've got a flat tyre or if it was a bit of rubber that was laying on the road that we ran over.
I'm just going to go up inside of Frank.
Have a look around her.
There's no tyre blowout,
No dramas yet, mate, eh?
but one tyre is dangerously low on air.
We'll be putting some air in that before we leave, definitely.
We'll just wait for a bit of air in it for now. It's a bit hard to change with that dump truck tyre there.
Cam's just putting a bit of air in that doughy tyre we got, so that way we don't have to change it. Hopefully it'll finish the journey out for us.
The trucks push on to their overnight stop in Alpha, 250 kilometres away.
By the way them clouds are rolling in, it could be raining.
The downpour is the last thing they need.
We got a couple of drops of rain on the windscreen.
While rain will cool the tyres, it will also grease the roads.
Not many people will want to get off the road when it rains.
And it makes it harder for us to get over too far too, because otherwise, because the shoulders are soft.
With time restrictions on their oversized load permit, they can't afford to be late.
We've got to be in Alpha by dark, so sunset's around 6:20.
If they run over time, the police will shut the convoy down.
I see the lightning to the right. The crack a bit, buddy.
Lightning and that before, so there's storms out ahead of us. The clouds are building a bit. I reckon we're chasing this one, yeah, so we're following it down the highway.
The weather is dangerous for the oversized convoy, and it's only getting worse.
And with the wet weather, it was just pushing me around a bit, and it was locking the wheels up and slide.
They fought heat and rain, but the cocktail of weather extremes isn't over yet.
We're just coming into a dust storm now.
On the windscreen now.
That's why it's so dark up here ahead of us, and the dust is blocking out the light on us.
With visibility low, the convoy drops to a slow crawl. And makes it safely to Alpha.
Probably should have stayed on the road, Ray. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Well, there you go. We've reached our destination, Alpha.
They've earned a well-deserved rest for man and machine.
Get a bit of go-go in her, otherwise we won't go-go.
Have a shower, feed, see what tomorrow brings. 20 to 6 in the morning. We've spent the night at Alpha. We'll get going in a minute. The police have done their checks and they're happy with everything. Had a storm last night, so shoulders of the road's going to be a bit slippery this morning, so we'll just have to be a bit careful until we see how far the storms went. The road here from here on, for now for a few k's, gets a bit narrow. You've got to be careful that you don't drop a tyre over the edge, because the lips of the shoulders of the road are worn away a bit, so if we drop a wheel out over the edge, we've got the chance of blowing a tyre.
A steep mountain range ahead brings more challenges.
Coming up now to what they call the Drummond Range. So yeah, so we get a bit hilly here. We've got a 7% decline here now, so we'll be slowing right down and taking our time going down pretty steady, yeah.
Stay on that line and you'll be all right.
With such a giant load, the truckers have to be careful. The heavy weight on their trailers could force them down the hill too fast.
The trouble with this weight, if you rely on your brakes too much, your brakes overheat, and then once they overheat, you've got no chance of stopping then. You're better off just grabbing the gear and walking down it, and then you don't have to touch your brakes as much then. Easy, decent down the Drummond Range. We had no dramas, so that's one out the way. Now we've got Eaton to tackle. Eaton Range, that's the range before you drop down into Mackay. It's pretty steep at the start of it, and it can be real slippery. We'll see what it's like when we get in there in a couple of hours.
The giant load convoy gets closer to the coast. The traffic is intensifying.
What do you do with that, Ray?
A bit more populated down here now, so yeah, we've got a bit more traffic to contend with today, but so far they're doing what they're told and everything's going good.
Two loads at 6.5 metres wide, eastbound, Cabot Ridge overpass.
At the front of the convoy, Andrea Broymans is lead pilot, warning oncoming drivers of the approaching wide loads.
What's wrong?
But not everyone is listening.
You've got one little egghead in it now.
He's going to have to back up, isn't he?
On a narrow bridge, one driver ignores all warnings to give way.
Craig must have got out of the wrong side of the bunk this morning. He's a bit cranky on it today.
You in fucking car. Please come over.
You know, I can see Craig. Craig is all good.
You got about a foot and a half on your left.
Yeah, old mate in that car didn't listen to the lead escort or the police and kept coming at us and met us on the bridge and had to back up to where it was a bit wider so we could get around him, but made it a bit tight, but we got there.
Keep going in the tanker if you want to.
Got a B-double coming towards us and he don't want to get off too far, so he's just panicking a bit, thinking that we're not going to be able to get past him, but...
Eastbound,
Plenty of room there, right? Heaps of room, mate.
There's been more room than he thought. He was panicking.
It's been a tough journey. The intense heat and heavy cargo have pushed the tyres to the limit.
Well, so far that doughy tyre's holding up for us. We haven't had any hassles with it yet, but we won't start skiting too much about that one. Anything could happen yet.
With their destination almost in reach,
Hey.
it's a serious blowout.
Hey, you, bit of rubber? Copy that. Copy that, I'll return. That was a big bang.
We could have done some brake lines or something too, so we'll get off the road here and assess it and see what we can do.
They must have both went together.
Oh, mate, I heard the bang back from there.
Have you done the brake line too, or?
Well, I reckon. You know what one I've done? The big red one.
Oh no. It's that big red brake line for sure.
2 exploding tyres have damaged a crucial brake line.
So far, that's all we can see, that it's took out one of the main air lines, so then we'll have to have a look and see what other hoses or if there's any more hoses being broken, so we won't know now till we get the rims off.
Right.
What the is that?
I think it's took the tank out.
It has.
The casualty list of damaged parts is growing.
Oh, took the air tank off and all. Go for a drive back down there, Matty, and see if you can find an air tank about that long, about that round.
Craig's son and pilot, Matty, is dispatched to search for the missing air tank.
Should be somewhere along here.
2 shattered tyres, a ruptured brake line, and now a missing air tank.
I reckon the air tanks fell off and got under that.
Back down the road, Matty's found the missing air tank, blown off by a double tyre explosion.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, we got a cam.
The tyre blowout has crippled the braking system on Craig's rig.
That's why your rims buckled. That air tank's got nothing coming out of it.
The truckers realise it's just a backup.
So we're right. Block that off.
Fortunately, they don't have far to go.
There used to be an air tank here, but it was only an auxiliary tank, so we're pretty lucky there. Clamp this over and we'll be on the road again.
I need 2 tyres, them 2 on the bottom.
On the other side there?
Yeah.
So it's all right, there you go.
We're just improvising now. That air tank is just there for a reserve.
I'll just do this clamp back up so we don't lose it.
By fixing the air hoses, they build pressure for the brakes.
Done. I'll get on 888 team.
Well, we should have been at the top of Eaton Range now to go down, so it's put us behind about an hour. We've only got the police till this afternoon, so no matter what happens, we've got to be in the port tonight, so hopefully no more dramas.
With the daunting prospect of the Eaton Range ahead, Ray calls in an extra truck for some heavy-duty assistance.
Yeah, we're just putting a block truck on just for that little bit of extra support to go down the hill to make it a little bit safer for everyone, yeah.
So for the sake of $300 or $400, it's just very cheap to have him on the arse to sneak you down there. So when we're 150 tonne all up, it's just better, mate, you know.
The block truck will hitch on the back of Craig's rig for extra braking power.
Run me down, and Ray's going to wait up the top of the hill and then go back and get in. We're good, Cameron?
Craig's giant rig is first down the slope. A steep 12% gradient will test his nerves.
Attention all road users. Wide load coming down the range. Westbound lane will be closed.
I hate this place. I hate this range. I've been caught on it coming up twice, and it's unforgiving, you know. Like, look here, you've got nowhere to go, eh? If anything starts slipping, and there's been a few blokes killed on here, you know, and I don't want to be one of the bars.
One wrong move and the giant cargo could gain momentum, forcing his truck down the steep slope.
So this is the worst of it, eh?
I'll go forward a bit more.
What do you got there, Benny?
About 900.
Craig coordinates engine revs with Benny, driving the block truck hitched to the back of his rig for extra brake power.
We've got about 150 tonne pushing us down the hill now. No room for error, otherwise you end up over there.
I'll bring you message later.
I'd rather take an extra 10 or 15 minutes and know that I'm going to go home at the end of the day, you know.
After a cautious 15-minute crawl, Craig makes it safely down.
Oh, good. Job's done.
One truck down, one to go.
Yeah, we'll try and match it.
Yep. Right. See how we go.
Now it's Ray's turn.
We'll start poking over steady. How's that, Ben? I'm not pulling you, am I?
You're good there, mate. Just keep like that.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I just got to keep my revs up a bit, that's all.
Yeah, got the hornet.
We're just coming past the safety ramp now.
Just as the descent is going well, Ray's truck starts picking up speed.
Copy, mate.
I'm going to grab another gear, Ben. This thing's going to jump me around, mate. I just grabbed another gear, Ben, to let mine roll a bit. That's not dragging, is it?
Fire now. Come in the hairpin.
Thank you.
Have your jack brakes back on?
Yeah, mate, just put them on a bit. Yeah, please.
I'm feeling low for you.
Yep, that's good. Thanks, mate. Just turn them off for a minute, mate, please.
Drop my truck in the neutral, go on.
Righto, mate. Yep. I can handle it from here, yep.
Both trucks and their giant freight have made it safely down.
Without any complications and, yeah.
Now it's a race to Mackay before their oversized permit curfew kicks in.
We've got till 7 o'clock, so we've got an hour and a half, so we should make it, depending on traffic.
After a tyre-busting 1,230 kilometres battling heat and rain, the heavy haulers arrive at the port of Mackay.
There you go. We've reached our destination. Done it in time, job's done.
In Darwin, dirt road specialist Christian Reynolds is also praying that the northern wet season holds off for a few more weeks.
This time of year, you're just going until you have to stop, making hay while the sun shines.
I want a job down the end of a long bitumen road.
37-year-old Christian has been driving trucks all his life. But last year, he took a big gamble, buying out his business partner to saddle himself with 3 trucks and some hefty debts.
Like most transport companies that start off, we struggle a fair bit.
To keep the banks at bay, he needs to keep his rigs moving and the money rolling in. That's a tall order on the road Christian rides. A gravel road gauntlet. Through the heart of Arnhem Land, a vast Aboriginal reserve 3 times the size of Belgium. This is wild country, ruled by the forces of nature. Roads out here face a constant onslaught from the elements.
It's just notorious and hard, corrugates, and there's a lot of the road there that's just worn out. Hasn't got too much gravel on it to hold it together anymore, and the road just breaks up and goes to bulldust.
His job is to shift 48 concrete bridge beams. It's a delicate task. If Christian cracks one, it'll have serious consequences.
You don't make spare ones. Like there's 48 beams, I think, for the job, and they only made 48. So if you wreck one there, it'd be expensive for everyone involved, you know.
Adding to the pressure, the rain is closing in.
The bulldust turns to mud, slippery bog holes, and once it gets wet, you can't travel over it.
Every year, the road gets shut down for months, drying up Christian's income.
That's the biggest thing, you don't know when it's all going to stop.
And now he's got more than just himself to worry about. Christian recently got engaged to Katie.
Do I really annoy you?
Not very much.
Not very much, so I still do.
And he's just taken on a new driver, Katie's brother, Norman. Norman's still green, and this is tough country for young truckers. One of Christian's former drivers was lucky to walk away from this wreck.
And just come down there and, yeah, he never made it around the corner. And the next week, another truck fell over in exactly the same spot.
Where these truckers go, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Customers are a bit stressed about getting their freight out there in time, just with the weather turning bad.
With the wet season due any day now, Christian's been working non-stop. For his fiancée, Katie, sharing the cab is the only way they can share time together.
Like I'll see him like once or twice during the week when he comes in to load. It's like he comes home, has a shower, gets ready and goes.
Katie's passionate about trucking.
Oh, I love that truck, isn't it pretty?
But lately, a back injury has kept her off the road.
Was stuck at home for months, spent 2 weeks in hospital. So, yeah, all very exciting.
Being with Christian on this trip also puts her mind at ease.
If he doesn't ring me from a certain point, I'll give him a certain amount of time before I start panicking in myself, just because there is so much that can go wrong out there.
Foremost in Christian's mind is the destructive potential of the road ahead.
We go through a lot of brake boosters. Like on the corrugations, the brake boosters actually break off. Cab mounts, door hinges, they just all flog out.
In this game, damage means money, something any new business is short on.
You seem just to get ahead and then things happen. See, that's dirt roads, everything's expensive.
At the end of the bitumen road, it's time to let their tyres down for the beating ahead.
It's more given so that you don't get the shock through the trailer as much.
But then Christian spots the last thing he wanted to see. 2 shredded tyres.
Like it doesn't take long to rack up $1,000 worth of tyres.
And the dirt hasn't even started yet.
You just throw money away.
But a passing truck alerts Christian to an even bigger worry.
No, I haven't passed them anyway. They're still behind you somewhere.
Norman, Christian's rookie driver and Katie's brother, is missing in action.
They never saw Norman anywhere, eh?
Oh.
Norman set off on the same run a couple of days ago. By now, He should have crossed paths with Christian and Katie on his drive home. "50 kilometres further down the track, Christian's anxiety for his missing driver is growing.
I thought I would have passed my other truck by now.
As the night goes on, the concern deepens.
He should be out this end if he got away at lunchtime. Well, he should have.
A parked truck ahead offers a glimmer of hope.
Oh, yeah, you haven't seen a Transstar with a couple of flat tops in the travels, have you?
No, this morning there was an old Lander with a bridge pylon and a backhoe and shit on it. That's all I've seen.
Yeah, all right. No dramas.
The condition of the road is only making things worse.
There's big corrugations just about to trip over them. Yeah. Like it's dusty as anything. Look how much water's laying about. You know, they've had a lot of showers through here.
And still, no Norman.
He's my brother-in-law. He hasn't done much driving, but he works hard, and he's steady. He just pokes along, and he's keen to learn. He really is. So he's worth the investment, you know. If he was broken down, that somebody would have said something. It is a concern in remote areas when a truck's not where you think it's going to be. You know, it's hard country out here. You are a long way from help.
Coming from a mile away with those white tonight.
Important it is. I'll pull up around the corner here.
It's a huge relief.
How you going? You've had me a bit worried.
Why?
Oh, because I haven't seen you.
Oblivious to the stress he's been causing, Norman's been plodding along.
I just took my time loading up the servo because it was hot, so I just had to have a couple of spells, stop and get out of the sun.
We actually were worried about you, Norman, because no one knew where you were. We ran into like 4 trucks and no one had seen you.
Finding Norman is a big load off Christian's mind.
Well, he's one of my drivers. You know, you're responsible for all of them. You know, like I've only got him at the moment, but last year I had 3 going, and you're responsible for all of them. So, you know, if they've got an issue, it becomes a bigger issue for you.
Now it's time for Norman to help Christian out.
Okay, so you got 2 good spares.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to swap some tyres. I've got no spares.
All right.
We had them flat tyres before we left the bitumen.
Yeah?
With his tyres replenished and his driver accounted for, Christian leaves Norman with one last word of advice.
Just remember they're just beams.
What? Yeah.
Don't kill yourself for it.
There's been rain overnight on the Arnhem Land Plateau. Exactly where Christian and Katie are now headed.
There has been a bit of rain out here in the last week or so. Like, it's still really dusty, but there's a lot of water laying around. The longer it lays there, the softer the road gets underneath. So, like, you can run into the drama of actually falling through the road.
Any violent movement could be disastrous for the load.
Oh, look at the water. That can't be good.
No.
The beams look solid, but each has a series of internal hollows.
Even though they're concrete beams, they are reasonably fragile.
Sliding off the road could bring this trip and the bridge construction to a sudden halt.
If you're flat out standing on it, it gets that slippery when it's wet. I'm really over the dirt roads. I really am.
Suddenly, something's come loose on the back. Christian has to pull over. A stack of gates is on the verge of spilling onto the road.
There's nothing on the other side to stop them coming out.
He's lucky he caught them in time.
Oh, the gates would have fell out. Probably pick them up on the way back, but someone else might come along and pick them up too. Like some things, you look at them and by the time you pull up, they've fell out.
And that's not all that's been moving around.
These back two beams have moved a little bit, eh? They've moved backwards about 1 inch.
The dirt track is starting to take its toll on the load. There's just 70 kilometres to Christian's destination, but 2 major obstacles still stand in his way. A double river crossing that's caught him out in the past.
You can get the whole truck and trailers out of the river, and that's it. That's as far as you can go. You just sit there spinning on top.
To give himself the best chance of making it across, Christian needs to break up his road train.
It's pretty steep out the other side as well, so I usually stop on the western side and split trailers up and just pull them all through one at a time.
The first river, Annie Creek.
No other blokes that have gone through rivers and punched fuel tanks from rocks and things like that. I always go pretty steady and try not to pull too much water out of the river because it washes the bank away. It'll get a definite step in it and it's hard to get out of then. And that's just from dragging the water up the bank with you when you go.
While he's safely across, next is the Goyder River, not the sort of place you want to get stuck.
Yeah, but I've seen them in the Goyder. Big, saltwater ones. Big enough that you wouldn't go swimming in there, that's for sure.
Christian needs to make sure he's on the right line.
If you go straight across, it's got a hole in the middle of it and it's quite deep. There's a sign on the other side that as you come in, it tells you to go right down to the left-hand side where it's shallower. You can't always do that in the truck, just because of the sheer length of it. You can't get down there that far. It felt like you were going to get bogged in it, but yeah, it was all good.
The next hurdle, a slippery bank.
It's just the banks on either side that give you trouble. Yeah, with 2 trailers on, you sort of run out of traction and you just can't pull them any further.
He's got both trailers across. Now to hook up and drive the load in. Their destination is only 40 kilometres away. After running the gauntlet, they arrive unscathed. But at the construction site, it's not all good news.
Max is waiting for you.
Why?
You'll find out.
Oh, he's got
Bonnet's up.
The bonnet's up, but he's got something loaded.
A fellow trucker has broken down. He's blown a water pump and he's not happy about it.
Well, we put big money into road tax. I feel like sending a bill for my truck repairs to the government and say, well, here, this is what you've cost me because you haven't maintained your roads.
Christian will have to pick up the pieces.
We'll take all his gear and my gear back together. So we're in for a nice easy run home, stack one of our trailers up and just go home as a single, and now we're going to go as a triple.
Cutting like a scar through the heart of the Kimberley, the Gib River Road. 660 kilometres of rock, dust and scorching heat. Out here, it hasn't rained for months. The only things still growing are the corrugations on the road.
Walk a bit faster than this and get there sooner, I reckon.
For husband and wife team Nick and Joe Atkins, it's the challenge that draws them.
It's one of the few dirt roads that you can still run on, and you know, we'd rather be up here than anywhere else.
In an industry littered with broken marriages, Nick and Joe are making theirs work by taking it on the road.
We live together, work together, spend all our time off together, so you only have each other to go to for help, and then that's now kind of how we operate as a couple and as a business too.
But there's nothing like the Gib to road test a relationship.
Sometimes we'll get short with each other because you are a couple.
Joanna, it only has to go where the forks are sitting.
Well, I did before and you said not to. Just do it. Like,
I
how is it that you don't understand what I want? You know, can't you read my mind? And it's like, well, no, it's up to you now.
Nick and Joe are gearing up for their last run of the dry season. They've got just 3 days to conquer the Gib and get to the community of Columbaroo.
For this run in particular, we're committed. We have to be there Wednesday night to be unloading Thursday morning because there's a lady flying in from Perth, and so it's all got to work out.
30 tonnes of essential provisions, including 22 drums of volatile fuel.
Stuff that doesn't really travel that well on a road like Clumbaroo Road. Let's make a move.
First, 75 kilometres of smooth bitumen. But then, the dirt begins. The gib is in bad shape.
And this is one of the rough spots through here. It's always rough.
And before long,
I'll just pull up here and check this load now. I've done a little bit of corrugated road.
the load's in bad shape too.
Now, I don't know how many we've lost, but we'll find out. We're restacking this pallet, dear. We've only done about 12k, I suppose, on the dirt.
Only another...
That's not a good start to the trip if we've got stuff moving already.
Normally, like, everything that's going to move will move within the first 5 or 10, 20k. We just check it a few times. And once everything's into place, then it normally then holds up pretty well for the rest of the trip and doesn't jump around.
They've lost time, but luckily, only one bag of grain.
Yeah, it's never an easy road to cart anything on this road. Everything likes to rattle around. As rough as anything.
After 8 hours of this, Nick and Joe have taken a hammering.
Makes you pretty weary at the end of the day, sitting on corrugations all day.
The track's also taking its toll on their truck.
We've just got low coolant level coming up. We must be getting low on water.
Outside, it's over 40 degrees.
Just a couple of bottles, hey, and I'll fill them up.
And Nick and Joe's engine has a sudden first. A mystery water leak has drained 3 litres from the radiator. Nick's worried the problem could get worse.
Well, it seems to be blowing all back over the motor, so it's leaking up the front there somewhere. Check it at dry scale again while it's got some heat in, and I might find out where it's actually coming from. We're being pretty late, I would say.
Yeah, right, no worries, we'll pass on the message.
No worries, thank you.
"60 kilometres short of help at Drysdale Cattle Station, the radiator's water level is dangerously low. Finally, he spots the cause of the problem.
The dirty mongrel.
Found the leak.
A pinprick hole in the radiator.
It's only a tiny little hole. Crack the core in it, and it's nothing you can really do because it's an aluminium cored radiator, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. You can't solder it.
All they can do is top up and push on.
60 kilometres to go. That should take us through 3 hours. I think if the road's reasonably good. If it's shit, well, it's 6 hours.
It's a painstaking drive into the darkness. After a grueling day on the gib,
rough as anything.
Nick and Joe Atkins have made it to Drysdale Station. It's a special place for Joe. It's her family home and where she met Nick.
And Nick was working with one of the road crews. I was working out at the station. Yeah, we just sort of got chatting, and then he just turned up like every day for the next two months or something.
Pretty convinced after the first week.
Yeah,
Didn't give up in a hurry anyway.
But right now, there's little time for reminiscing. The leaking radiator's getting worse. But Nick thinks he's found a fix.
Basically liquid steel, really. Just physically just go over the core of the radiator and then hopefully block the hole. I can't really see the hole properly, but...
Just turn him on slow.
Slow enough?
That'll do. Well, we'll see how that goes. And hopefully we don't spring any more leaks. This is where the road starts getting real rough.
And right on cue.
We've still got a problem with this low water light keeps coming on.
This time, it takes a whopping 15 litres to fill her up. But now it's not the radiator.
It's not bad going.
This leak is coming from somewhere else.
Fix one leak and then a water pump starts. I might just have to order a new pump from Theta and get it flown in Columbaroo. See how it goes. Hopefully it'll get us back to town.
Oh, I hope it's not like this for the rest of the way.
A shit bit of road.
Like what, 2.5 kilometres an hour now, I think.
After 8 hours on the road, Nick and Joe have barely covered 100 kilometres.
Oh, I was hoping to be up past Theta tonight, but that's not going to happen.
Next morning, and Nick's hatched a plan to prolong the life of his dying water pump.
It can't be any worse than it already is.
Loaded full of grease.
Stop a bit of that water from running out of that water pump, at least till we get to Theta.
Theta, the next station, is now only 40 kilometres away. But the way his truck's performing, it might as well be 400.
That temperature gauge is coming back up again. It was just right down on the thing and now it just climbs straight back up again. So, and real quick.
With a leaking water pump and an overheating truck, Nick and Joe Atkins have limped into Theta Station.
I'd say she's just worn out.
Tomorrow they're due in Columbaroo, now only 50 kilometres away. But Nick's worried the water pump won't even last that long.
How you going? This is Nick here from North Kimberley Transport. I'm chasing a water pump for a Mack CH. Do you? Yep.
Good news, the pump's in stock.
No worries.
And can be flown to their next stop. But back at the truck...
Yo!
One of these drums rubs a hole.
Another leak, this time in a fuel drum.
Busted the arse out of the drum.
Oh.
One more casualty from the relentless rough road.
Fuel pushing on the bottom of the drum, flexes the drum and eventually cracks it.
At least this leak is a quick fix. Turn the drum upside down and problem solved. Back onto the Columbaroo Road.
This is where the fun begins.
That's barely a road at all.
Then it just starts getting narrow and rougher and rocky rough because it doesn't get maintained. But it is a pretty poor excuse for a road, really. Just a billy goat track, that's about all it is.
Only 30 kilometres to go. On any other road, they'd be on the home straight.
So bloody nice. I'll just pull up your steer where it's a bit wider.
Another mechanical failure could be the final blow. Nick and Joe have crawled into Columbaroo. They still haven't got to the bottom of the distressing sound under the bonnet.
Something that's not right, so I'll climb and have a look.
But right now, it's a puzzle Nick doesn't have time to solve. This freight for the general store needs to be offloaded. After the violent journey, they're anxious to see its condition. A little dusty, but all intact. All that's left now is to deliver 10 drums of fuel to a remote fishing camp, just 30 kilometres north. It's only a short distance, but on a narrow, sandy track. Nick and Joe take a gamble on their failing water pump and head into the wilderness.
Well, here's honeymoon turn-off. This is where we go from a beaten track down to just a billy goat track from here on for the next 7k.
It's a track for four-wheel drives only, not a 30-tonne truck and trailer.
Hang on.
When we come down this road last trip and there's a few more tourists around and they all look at us pretty weird when we're taking the prime mover down here. And
this is where we're likely to get stuck, just in here.
Nick's losing speed.
Come on, old girl. Come on.
And now he's losing traction.
Yeah, mongrel. Make a bit of a track for myself. If I turn the steering too much, it'll just bog itself even more. I'll get up on that little bit of a hard spot there, I'll be right.
The truck and trailer weighs over 30 tonnes. Getting through this will take all of Nick's 30 years' experience.
Come on, baby. You might have got it. Well, we made it to honeymoon. Here we are. The last drop-off point on the Clumberoo Road. The very end of it. The northern point that you can get a truck into.
It's time to offload the last of their freight. Vital fuel for this remote camping ground. A new day, a new drama.
Well, we made it to honeymoon, but something's let go under here.
A noise from under the bonnet has got Nick worried.
That's the problem. Busted engine mount. We've got two engine mount bolts that are snapped.
Crucial bolts holding the engine in place have broken.
You've got 470 odd horsepower at torque, pulling up them hills. The motor's got to go somewhere.
If they can't fix this, the whole engine could shake loose.
Come off, you bastard. There we go. Hey, Joanna, can you come around this left-hand side here? I'll just see if I can push that up. Hold out of there. It's right there. Come out?
Yep. Well, we don't have a spare one of them.
That's the problem.
Yep. Well, we don't have a spare one of them.
Vital bolts holding their engine in place have sheared clean off. Without them, their motor could shift violently and destroy itself.
Pain? Lancho, you got any bolts like that? That size? Hey. Come on, have a look in this shit.
To survive the road ahead, the bolts should be made of high tensile steel. But beggars can't be choosers. These mild steel bolts will have to do.
I reckon I might just try them ones, mate.
That's right on there.
Thanks, mate. So I don't know how long they're going to last, but that's all I can do, otherwise I'm going to end up doing some major damage to them. Rightio. Well, it's got to be bloody tight, that's for sure. Joy of taking freight into places that trucks really shouldn't go.
Time to start the long road home.
Rightio, we're ready to go. Columbrew, here we come.
First, they need to pass the sandy track that bogged them on the way in. And this time, the sand is hotter and looser.
And see, this sand gets a bit of heat on it and be foam and real tricky to get through. It's a little bit narrow through here, in and out of bloody trees. It's got to get out wide, sort of sneak around. Turn, come on, little turn.
Made it. But no clever driving
Get over further than that.
will get Nick past this next obstacle. Nick Atkins is at a stalemate with a German tourist.
Wheel him up through here.
The track is too narrow for both to pass.
Yeah, come up through here. I'll move this stump log for you. And just drive across here. Into him! Give it on! Thank you!
Back on the road to Columbrew. Nick and Joe collect a trailer.
Might just put some water in that radiator.
And check on their problem cooling system. Their water pump is still leaking, making this next pickup critical.
Let's go and see this pilot. See if he's got our water pump, hopefully.
It's the pump they ordered 3 days ago.
Tell me it's all the right stuff.
Wrong one. No, it's not.
A precious standby if the other pump dies on the road.
Oh, that's what we want. I feel better now I've got a spare one of them sitting on board.
Nick and Joe are now collecting their backload for the drive home to Kununurra. 20 pallets of mining samples. And a four-wheel drive.
Couple nags.
Next day, and Nick's feeling positive. He's found a way to stop his worn-out water pump from leaking.
I've taken the rubber out of the radiator cap so I can't build up pressure, so it seems to have stopped it. It'll be right.
But now he must focus on the road.
This is the first challenge for the morning.
Ahead lies a steep hill or jump up.
I'm a bit concerned on getting up there because this road's pretty rough through here, so I don't know if I'll be able to get enough speed up to actually get up it.
Its surface is loose and rocky.
I should be able to get up. I've got up before. Stick the power divider in and hope for the best. Come on, old girl, you can do it. Come on, baby. Dirty mongrel bastard. You bastard of a thing.
I think we'll just let some air out of the tyres first. It might give us a bit more grip.
I'll just drop down to 40 psi, but I don't think she's going to pull out of there. Bloody loose, it's powdery with a bit of rock in it, so it just rips your drive tyres to bits. it. Come on, old girl.
Come on, come on. He got it.
She made it. Only bloody dust.
Moving again. But the battle with the road is taking its toll.
Got a big piece of rubber coming off there soon. Butto Road, here we are, the last pickup.
Going on the back, a campground toilet block.
It's a really awkward little load because nothing stacks nicely. Stop there. Hang on. Down there. Now go forward. You're in, put it down. Beautiful. Happy days.
You got some power? Just snapping that pallet, dear.
Nick and Joe can now start heading out of the wilderness.
Just a month until you've got to get right out wide. It's only bloody narrow. Obviously, it's not really designed to bring a prime mover and trailer in here. Tight squeeze through there. Drysdale, here we come, Joanna.
Drysdale Station is Joe's family home. For Nick, more running repairs.
It's pretty much had it. Plastic bloody stuff. Everything's plastic these days. This is the expansion tank, and that's the header tank, actually the top of the radiator, really.
But just as one repair is done,
oh, good one!
Another problem appears.
It's my fault. Nick thought I unplugged it and I hadn't done. He'll get mileage out of that for ages now. Remember that time when you didn't unplug the lights?
That's what happens when you don't stay in a routine. Right, we'll replace this.
Oh, you got your glasses on.
I have to put my spare eyes, otherwise I can't see the numbers on these things. You know, travelling along this dirt with no tail lights on your trailer, you're likely to get somebody to run up your arse. I don't want that. Okay. Rightio.
A quick goodbye to the family, then time to make a mile.
Give River Road, here we come.
The Gib hasn't improved since Nick and Joe were last on it. It's rough. And today, it's hot. Over 40 degrees in the shade. Then, the last thing they wanted to hear.
That one before. Engine cool temp high. She's right up on 120 here now.
Even topped up, the engine temperature isn't dropping. 250 kilometres from the nearest mechanic at the hottest and driest time of the year. Nick and Joe couldn't have picked a worse moment to break down.
I'm praying to Flaming God that it's the thermostat, because I don't want to be at the oil cooler. Otherwise I will be sitting here for 3 days fixing it.
Making matters worse, it's the hottest, driest time of the year, with little water about, and their truck's been leaking bucket loads.
A couple little creeks still got a little bit of water in them, but yeah, not much.
So normally we have 140 litres of water.
For the dry road ahead, they'll need all the water they can carry.
You can only hope for the best. Come on, old girl, give us a good day.
If it all goes well, Just a day's drive now stands between Nick and Joe and home.
Kununurra tonight, hopefully. Better be. Doesn't help the road bloody rough either.
But even with a new thermostat, things aren't looking good.
The temperature's sitting around 104. Might be a slow trip back home. Pretty much over 100, 110, you're really getting up a little bit too high. Now the engine cooling temp might come on.
They've only driven 3 kilometres.
Might be pulling up here. Might be doing that water pump, might have no bloody choice. I think you're just losing too much water out of that water pump, I think.
This truck is refusing to go any further.
Oh, she's just shut down. Gonna have to let it cool down now. That's not good. I think she's just packed it in. But it looks like the new water pump is just going to have to go in. You put the worst jobs off to last, and then you end up having to do them anyway. I hope this fixes it.
Replacing the water pump can be a complicated operation for an experienced mechanic in a well-equipped workshop. Nick and Joe are attempting it on the side of the road with limited tools under a blazing sun.
Well, it's 40 and it's only like 10 o'clock. It's pretty chancy sort of stuff doing this out in the scrub for getting dirt and stuff in it, and you get dirt in here, and that's the end of your motor, really. Rightio, that's the nut we've got to get to. That dirty little bastard there. Don't drop it down in the
After 4 hours of painstaking work, the final touches.
The do-or-die question, is that going to bloody fix a problem, or is the problem still going to be there? I hope it bloody fixed it, otherwise I'm going to be in for a slow trip back into town.
The moment of truth.
My new water pump, so here we go. It's reading 80 now.
It isn't long.
Back up to 100, over 100.
Before their worst fears are realised.
What is causing this? I don't find know.
A satellite phone call to their mechanic in Brisbane, 3,000 kilometres away, could shed some light.
I need some help. I've had a leaking water pump. It keeps getting hot, and now I've replaced the water pump, thermostat, and now it's pushing water back out through the header tank. Oh, yeah.
The fate of this trip and their customers' freight hangs in the balance.
Yep. No worries, Daniel, I'll give that a go. Rightio, mate, bye.
After checking for blocked hoses and fittings and disconnecting the air conditioner,
This doesn't seem right.
Nick's getting a sinking feeling.
Just looking more and more like head gasket to me, dear. It's somewhere deeper inside the engine. And if it's a head, you've got major bloody problems. Pretty much the engine rebuilds, really.
Time-consuming, expensive, and strictly for the workshop, repairing a head gasket would be a crippling cost for Nick and Joe's small business.
Any major mechanical failure is always a bit disheartening. Many, many, many thousands.
All they can do is struggle on and hope the truck holds up. But now they're hitting hill country, putting their engine under maximum strain.
She's straight back up again, 120.
Dangerously hot, the truck's losing power.
You dirty mongrel. It does not want to let us go.
And now, the computer has shut it down completely.
Well, I don't know where to start, honey.
A day's drive from help. Nick and Joe are stranded and fast running out of options.
We've got a major problem. Major problem. That's not good.
With night falling, they need to move their crippled truck off the road.
I'll tow it up the top of there with a loader.
Using a 100 horsepower loader to pull a 60-ton triple road train is a big ask, especially over one of the steepest hills on this track.
Leave it out of gear?
Leave it out of gear and I'll just...
Steer or don't
And just steer.
For Joe, the pressure's on.
Radio.
Yellow button off.
Yep.
Get out of line and she could push Nick into the bush.
Part of the job I hate. Am I like straight enough behind you or?
Yeah, that's good. You just follow me.
Oh, it just makes me feel sick.
Adding to Joe's stress, even idling, the truck's still dangerously hot.
It's at 102, it's just sitting on.
But the only way over the hill ahead is with the truck and loader working together.
I wouldn't want to be going halfway up there and then have it get hot and shut down and then it's just a world of hurt, you know, so.
The big climb begins.
Them two levers on your gear stick, honey, push them both down.
They're down. On a big hill and it's steep and it'll be a hard pull. And I'm not real steady on the accelerator.
If the truck overheats now and shuts down,
Still sitting on 102.
getting moving again would be near impossible.
Last little bit.
How you going?
Still sitting on 103. It's not far to the top. So close. Last little bit's quite a pull. I'm really happy we're not doing it in the dark. I'm glad there's a tiny little bit of daylight left. I'm pretty nervous doing it in the dark, but
They're over the ridge and can move off the road.
Stay out right out that way.
It's the end of a day Nick and Joe would rather forget. And somehow, they still need to deliver this load.
I hope it's someone with a bit of space.
But first, they need to flag down some help.
Oh, thank goodness. Hey, we just need to get into Kununurra. Just in a road train over here that's packed it in.
Yeah, jump in. Most of the time to talk to.
Really?
Oh, you ready?
Next day, in the town of Kununurra, Nick and Joe have expensive repair bills weighing on their minds. But a friend has come to their aid to retrieve their load.
Good stroke of luck, mate's got this truck here, so I'll just grab that. I'll just poke it along, treat it like my own and see how we go. As long as the water problem don't occur. Good.
Well, thanks heaps, Ryan. You bloody saved our arse. Really.
No worries, eh?
Appreciate it heaps.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Yeah, and I'll bloody hopefully won't wreck it on you.
Nah.
Have a good trip,
Well,
Yeah, no worries, Ryan.
We'll catch you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Midday
mate.
or something. See ya.
Come on, let's hit the Frog and Toad.
Using a mate's tip truck to tow a road train over the Gibb River Road is far from ideal. The plan? Tow the freight out first, then go back for the crippled truck.
I'm going to bring them two trailers into town because that's all personal freight for everybody in town here. They're a day late, day and a half late. Oh, here comes a gib. We'll see how my borrowed truck, my mate's truck, actually handles the dirt road. None of it's real smooth. It's going to be a pretty slow trip. You know, some patches of this road I'll be able to get up around the 20-30 kilometre mark, but some places I think I'll be down to an idle, I think.
The tip truck has a short wheelbase and stiff suspension, transforming this track from uncomfortable to unbearable.
Oh, yeah, loses traction on these corrugations. I've got about 3 tonne of dirt in the back there and it's still rough. It's going to be one long night, I think.
At 10 kilometres per hour and with 120 more Ks still to drive, Nick and Joe are in for a bone-busting journey.
Bloody rough. Oh, it was shocking. 6 hours to do 200k from Kununurra. Great going, isn't it?
Be good to get freight to people tomorrow, so hopefully today, this afternoon. That's the plan anyway. My brain's not working. It fell out on the road up there somewhere.
There's no time to recover. Their freight is now a day overdue.
I just need to back up a little bit.
First task, hook up the tip truck. A straightforward job of releasing a lever.
So, whereas that pin needs to come all the way up further.
If the lever works.
Right. Can't get it at all. Dirt gets in like around the spring
Around the top of it, yeah.
Around the top. I don't know how to explain it.
You said you can pull that up. I hope this can.
The tow hitch is a simple device, but if Nick can't fix it, he can't move the freight.
What's going on here? You're serious? Coming up.
Cool, calm Nick is ready to blow.
Starting to need one.
Because that might push some of the dirt out.
Just don't know why it's not coming up.
2 frustrating hours are gone, and Nick's still no closer to releasing the trailer.
Broken in half or something.
I think the ring feeder's twisted a tiny little bit. Stopping the handle from coming up. I think. That got it. The handle's actually slipped right over. A little thing at the back there wouldn't come up. Throw that feeder.
Yeah, sometimes it's the most simplest small things that give you the most trouble.
If the morning starts off like that, what's the day going to be like?
Next problem, rearrange the load.
Over here.
With all 3 trailers, the borrowed tip truck will be over length. Nick and Joe need to squeeze their freight onto 2.
And that way, that's all our freight back to town. Just come forward a bit.
The mining samples are on. Now for the four-wheel drive.
You ready? Need to hold that up so that it doesn't hit the tail shaft.
Get this wrong, and a $30,000 car could slide clean off the loader.
And lay them along the fork, that way.
This nightmare trip is starting to take its toll.
Joanna!
What?
It only has to go where the forks are sitting. That's it. Just put them straight along the forks. Don't stick them out like that.
But I did before and you said not to.
Reloading onto their mate's truck should have taken an hour. They've been at it for 4 and counting.
Yeah, plenty of room at the back.
What about the front?
I'll just have a look, wait. Yeah, keep going, keep going.
After 7 years in the business, this trip is proving to be one of the toughest.
I reckon it was our second worst trip in 7 years, but I think possibly it's heading up towards first place.
Tempers are just getting short. Well, my temper is, I know that.
Hang down my car.
Come here. I'm sorry.
At last, this load is ready for the final push.
Rightio, ready to make a move.
Their loader and broken truck will have to wait. The priority now is the freight. With 20 extra tons of weight on board, Nick's hoping for a less rough ride out of here.
I hope it's a little bit smoother than last night, I hope.
But the Gibb River Road isn't done with them yet.
Oh, kicks like a mule. Just bucks at the back over these corrugations. End up with a concertina home and back. $30K on the dirt and then we're on the bitumen.
But finally, they're approaching civilization and relief from the road.
Just over there.
Yeah, be very happy when we get there.
Good to be back here. It's a relief, that's for sure. It's a relief this job is done. This one didn't go to plan, this one, but we've done our job, so, you know, I'm happy with that. The customers should be happy, I'm happy, and now I just got to sort out my truck. And then I'll get out and kiss the ground. Nice to be home.
It is nice to be home.
It's nice to be here, that's for sure.
Late evening on a busy highway. A specialist crew are prepping for a gigantic job.
As you can hear the jackhammer breaking through the concrete, that's taken them longer than expected.
Dismantling an entire pedestrian bridge. 100 tons of concrete and steel. It'll then be loaded and trucked to a new location, 100 kilometres away.
Until they've done the first lift, nobody really knows what's going to happen. There are things that can go wrong. Let's hope it all comes apart the way it's supposed to.
It might be a short journey, but it's far from easy. It'll take 2 days and 6 heavy-haul low loaders to get it there. The highway is being widened and the bridge solved.
So this bridge is an absolute bargain for us.
A tidy $150,000.
For half the price. How could we go wrong?
The price tag may be small, but the move is huge. It'll be cut into 4 spans, each weighing 25 tonnes and around 40 metres long. And it's all being done to a tight deadline.
The power goes off at 11:30. You have to wait for an hour for the power to de-energise, so then the crane can get in position for a 12:30 lift.
The crew have just a 4-hour window to lift and load the sections. The power has to be turned back on by 5 a.m. Wear and tear on man and machine.
We've already wore about 4 cutting blades, cutting it, and then with the poor little jackhammer trying to bust through.
And the next part of the job is even harder. Trucking the 4 massive sections of bridge, the 100 kilometres along busy roads. Adding to the degree of difficulty, the trucks are too long to go the short, easier way along the freeway. They'll have to do battle with the traffic in the back streets. Drivers are used to going under bridges, not around them. At the pedestrian bridge site in Perth, there's definitely no foot traffic. 2 40-metre spans of bridge are now sitting on low loaders, ready for the difficult trip to their new resting place.
Well, it's 108 kilometres. It should take us around 2 hours, 2.5, as long as nothing goes wrong.
There's a freeway that will take them straight to their destination, but trucks this long aren't allowed on it. They'll have to do battle in the back streets, with their tight corners and uptight drivers.
Alrighty.
Andy Southern is used to congested city roads.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Originally from Manchester, Andy settled in Australia 24 years ago.
Traffic will try and get round you. They see a spot or a gap, they'll have a go. So you've got to drive with, you know, 360 vision really, and listen to the pilots. Move over as where we can and try and get people around us. You know, otherwise it becomes mayhem.
They've timed the move to avoid commuter traffic, but it's a busy Saturday morning with cars everywhere.
Our pilots are front and rear, so if there's cars behind the pilot, the pilot can slow them down. You get people sneaking through and, you know, because they can't wait, everyone's in a hurry.
And even more deadly, other trucks.
There you go. That truck there was just pointing out in our lane, so we've had to hit the brakes. Tried to sneak out and then realised he can't get out, and he's left the nose of his truck out in the middle of the highway.
When you're this long and this heavy, suddenly hitting the brakes is dangerous, but sometimes essential, as Paul well knows. 4 years ago, a driver ran a red light right in front of him.
I was heading straight for his driver's door. I mean, in my head, I thought, that's it, I'm gonna kill someone. And yeah, everything just went slow motion and just reacted and tried to control the truck and the load. Ended up doing quite a good job, but it still tipped it over and ended up in the bush. But luckily, no one was injured or killed.
After a 3-hour journey, the convoy arrives at the holding yard. But steering a truck this size off the road and through a narrow gateway presents a problem.
It's going to be tight getting in there, isn't it?
Oh, it is a bit here, this edge here.
Right, we're about to try and get through this gate. It's nice and tight. We've got Andy up there guiding me. So. This is the crane. It's going to lift the pieces off.
Stop. We got it here. There's no issues.
But today was just a dress rehearsal. The toughest test is still to come. Tonight, work begins on the biggest sections, 5 metres longer and 17 tonnes heavier. Next morning, 2 special purpose trucks are loaded and ready.
I'll keep it up a little bit, try to throw a little bit more.
Ethan Canale will be one of the specialist drivers.
Just making sure we have enough weight forward, just to keep momentum while we're going around corners. If you lose momentum and you lose your speed and your drag builds up, you'll just end up free spinning on your drives, and that's it, you're going to get stuck.
Getting this 66-wheel monster to its destination via the back roads will be another huge challenge. The first serious test is just around the corner. The truck and bridge span together are 42 metres, nearly as long as an Olympic swimming pool.
I'm on a curve now. Just pushing it, not much.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. I just got very, very close to the curve there.
The rear truck is carrying a curved section. Its problem isn't just length, it's width. At intersections, the traffic is stopped. They need every bit of road. On the back roads, cars are ordered off to the side. But an impatient driver takes a risk.
Trying to cut in and go plain up there. Some people just have a death wish.
Yep. A car was pulling up on the side there, and another car's decided to go in between them and me on the road, and pretty close call there in between the load and the parked vehicle.
It's Sunday morning, but for Ethan, this is no Sunday morning drive.
Yeah, seen a few fatalities, which isn't nice. It's the last thing you want to see. Some people just are impatient.
All good. Yeah, we got it.
There's that back right looking there, Andy.
Yeah, you're looking good there, mate.
Good job, thank you.
You're all right.
Thank you.
After 3 hours threading these super long loads through suburban streets, the depot they're unloading at can't come soon enough. Now all they have to do is park and unload. Sounds simple, but backing these 40-metre monsters in a confined space is anything but.
I won't be able to get as close as the crane as Andy, so I'll have to do as best as I can. If I can go a bit further this time.
going to get much better than that. No, you did good. Thanks for the spot, brother. You go all right.
A $150,000 bargain saved from demolition.
This was the interesting one with the extra length and the width. So, yeah, it's gone well. It was a good manoeuvre. We got it in there. We didn't try and screw it around too hard and start damaging things and bending things. We've done it as expected and on time. And so, yeah, it's worked out well.
Delivered by a team of experts, safely, on time and on budget. Job done.
At the moment, I'm not real sure where the fire is. There's a bit of chatter on the radio.
Deep in the southwest of Tasmania, the mighty forests of the Huon Valley are on fire.
We've got to go through the middle of the burn, which I'm not really that keen on because there's a lot of big, dangerous trees out here.
Local logger Neil Bennett is hauling his digger straight towards the inferno in an attempt to halt the blaze.
Who's going to go up around here and chuck the digger off on the road and clean the existing fire trail up to try and stop the fire? Very nerve-wracking. Makes old guts turn, this does.
As the inferno spreads, hectare after hectare of bushland is destroyed, threatening lives, homes and businesses. For Adrian Bennett, fighting the fires is a life-threatening mission.
We're sending our crew out to try and stop the fire. Yeah, we're throwing them in some pretty dodgy places.
Adrian and Neil are fourth-generation loggers. Their family business employs up to 150 truck drivers and timber workers. But the huge fires are threatening to wipe out their livelihoods.
We're just trying to sort of minimise the loss of timber for the income of the valley. We've got something like 20-odd fires burning our resource, and it's also heading towards the townships now. And the dozers and the excavators are just trying to bust into it and put fire breaks and cut the fire off.
The dozers smash down vegetation and trees in the path of the fires to starve them of combustible material and contain the flames.
We're battling. My job for the last week or so, I've been on our little dozer, just going from fire front to fire front, just trying to cut it off.
The timber mill is also under threat.
There's a high risk to us. Lose machines, lose trucks. We haven't lost any structures yet down here, as of this morning, I think. Look, Eddie came with me dog.
At home on his farm, Neil's waiting on the fire department to call him to action.
With his moon dish on.
The father of two is on high alert.
Yo! Yep, no worries. We gotta go, my girl.
Neil has to scramble to help cut new fire breaks.
We're gonna be going fair through the middle of it, where it's burned up over the main tourist route.
The intense heat can destroy a truck in minutes. The lives of his family and neighbours are on the line. There's no guarantee that Neil will make it home.
Slowly working the way this smoke's laying across here. Wind's got it going pretty well on me. We may have to boot scoot here in a minute. We're going up over the Blue Hills here now, and this piece is unburnt. But yeah, for how long we don't know. Like, it could go at any time.
Truckers like Neil are the lifeline for dozer drivers such as Jim Woodward.
Without the trucks, we cannot get machinery into jobs, and without them, we can't get out. Not fast enough.
You've got all the leaf litter, and as soon as it gets a bit of heat in it, the eucalypt and that, they explode. It just goes off like a cannon. Right, see that, thanks for it. Get down the road, thank you.
Breaking through the rampaging fire, Neil just makes it to the drop-off point, where fire crews are desperate for his cargo of heavy machinery.
Drop this digger off here, try and cut the fire off and coming back this way.
With every minute wasted, more forest burns to the ground. Neil's straight back in the cab to reload.
We're heading back
pick another 20-tonne excavator to run them out to the other side of the fire, just to, see what they can do out there.
But the relentless pace and boiling conditions are taking their toll on Neil's truck.
I've got something vibrating somewhere. I think she's got a blown turbo pipe. Why it's whistling.
To fix the truck, Neil returns to the muster point at the mill. The designated safety area is no longer safe.
Burned all around this southern site, which is one of our major sawmills that most of our timber goes to, and we're trying to protect it.
As the fire grows, the inferno threatens.
The fire's only just done the bank. Fire brigade around us, but I don't want to be sitting here too long. I thought she blew intercooler pipe. I've got to try and find the issue. Hopefully I can find it soon.
It's a deadly race to fix the truck.
Look out. The fire at the moment's nearly right round her. A lot of ash falling, a lot of hot embers. But there's only a little piece here where we're sitting that it hasn't burned yet, and they're working very hard on it to keep it that way.
If the fire continues on its current path, then the mill, vehicles and lives could all be lost.
There's a real intercooler pipe there coming out the road, and the fire's still lapping around us pretty well. Roger, D. We'll see how that goes. Replace the intercooler pipe. Hopefully that was the problem. It had a little bit of a hole in it.
The fire is rapidly closing in. Neil's cargo of heavy machinery is urgently needed to carve fire breaks into the bush.
Off we go.
Just be mindful, guys, the wind's picked up a little bit.
Yeah, she's a bit hot and smoky through here.
Minutes down the road, Neil discovers his truck's engine is still losing horsepower.
I didn't fix the right intercooler pipe. Not right, I've got to have a bit more of an investigation.
With the engine struggling to pull his 30-tonne load, he needs to fix it or risk being overrun by the fires.
We can only get up around the corner here a little bit, instead of the big main feeder line to go to Southwood down there on the ground.
Power lines brought down by the fire are blocking the road.
I do think he hit them with a really big axe, but we got told under no uncertain terms to cut them.
Waiting for the fire crew to disconnect the power, Neil seizes the opportunity to repair his truck.
Here's my problem. She blew the little compressor pipe off the compressor. I can poke my finger in it. So does that tell you that it's blown?
Neil and the fire crew have to work fast. If the wind changes direction, the fire could be on them in a flash.
Dodge up job. Gonna try and wrap some tape around this to keep it going until I get back home tonight and find the right piece. Get up on you bastard. Alright, we'll see how that goes. See how long it lasts for.
The power lines are finally cleared, and not a moment too soon.
Yo!
Neil receives a desperate call from his brother Adrian. He's in trouble and in urgent need of rescue.
Up Swamp Road. I think it's getting a little bit warm up on the bank there for him, so we'll charge up and see if we can get hold of him.
He needs to floor it. Every second counts.
She's coming somewhere to fire, we're not real sure, but I think it's only over the back of this hill here.
Pulling a 5-metre wide 30-tonne load on narrow roads. One wrong move and it could be all over for Neil.
Got the old heart rate pumping a little bit. That corner's not. Slow down, slow down.
Neil gets as close to the fire front as he's permitted.
Sitting at the top of Swamp Road here, waiting for my brother to get back with his little dozer and make sure he doesn't catch light and burn in the process.
With the fire front closing in, Neil's brother Adrian has to escape, driving a dozer with a top speed of just 16 kilometres per hour.
They'll only walk so fast, you know, the flames will overtake them. You've got the float nearby, it's just on the back, you know, chains on and gone. You can get them out a lot quicker.
Adrian's safe for now, but the dozer is busted.
I was trying to track around a spot fire in there and I've ended up breaking the tilt ram on the blade.
With every machine needed to fight the fires, they have to fix it fast. As the brothers race to repair, the radio brings distressing news.
It looks pretty thick. I can't see through it to see what's behind it.
One of their employees, Jim Woodward, is trapped, surrounded by multiple fire fronts.
And yeah, it's putting a lot of crews in, not in a good predicament. With most of the machine drivers here are, yeah, they're mates as well, so.
Driver Greg Walker is closest to Jim's location.
And I don't know if we're going to be able to make it up in there or not, but if it gets too hot, we might have to turn around and head back out ourselves. But we'll go up there and we'll see if we can help him. Listening to on the radio then, they've got 90 km/h winds up there and fire heading towards them fast. So it's not looking good. Got to the top of the quarry here, Michael. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get through. It looks pretty thick. I can't see through it to see what's behind it.
Where are you, Neil Bennett? Heading for him, Joel.
Just leaving southward.
Neil Bennett has little choice. He drives straight into smoke-choked forest to try and rescue his mate.
She's picked up a bit here, so we'll see how we go.
An emergency fire service vehicle suddenly blocks Neil's path.
It might be better backing out and going out that way.
Yep.
It's too dangerous to continue.
No, the road's blocked down there in front of the fire's come up over it, so I've got to go back up here to spin my big float round.
Neil needs to take another road to get to Jim. And worse still, the radio's on the blink.
Where's Jimmy at?
Neil gets a lucky break. The smoke momentarily clears.
How far is Jimmy out, Mick?
He's a couple hundred metres down Brackenridge Road from the intersection.
Come round, you bitch.
Miraculously, Jim and the dozer emerge from the burning forest.
If you're going to put it on quick. I don't like around here. Not when she's coming up that bank at us. Get her in third. Get her up on there. Right, out.
There was a wind change. With that wind change, it put us in big danger. They actually had to drive through fire to get to us, which they did, got us out, made us safe, so we were lucky.
We're back down out of here now, dog. Jimmy's over on him. Managed to get up and get him out, so that's a bloody good plus. I'll have a smoke now.
Neil's joy is short-lived. The mill is burning.
The fire that was up on the hill behind us, before you know it, that'll be down here. Shit got real again.
Trucker Ricky Sutcliffe is driving into an inferno, rescuing the bulldozer drivers cutting essential fire breaks into the forest.
3 days is to move and no time. It's all happening now.
The rampaging fires are destroying homes and laying waste to the logging industry this region relies on.
We're just trying to sort of minimise the loss of timber for the income of the valley.
Logging brothers Neil and Adrian Bennett own one of the state's largest timber businesses. While they've been busy fighting the fires, another contractor's mill at Southwood has caught fire.
We lost a couple of sheds at Southwood yesterday. The main buildings are still standing, and we have heard we've lost eight houses. So it's not good. Things are getting pretty hairy.
The fires have already cost the Bennett brothers a whopping $400,000 in lost production, while they've been out fighting the flames.
And we're trying to stop it to come up on this other side. We've got a dozer up in there.
Yep.
They're working with some helicopters.
We're sending Rick and crew out to try and stop the fire, save our machinery. It's just moving that quick. We don't know where it's going or where it's going to finish.
Facing a dangerous, unpredictable fire front, Ricky relies on Harry Price, driving ahead in the safety car to spot danger.
Hey, Roger, mate. Yeah, you got concrete on up that hill there, so you should get good traction.
Cutting fire breaks in the thick of the forest is life-threatening work.
Our job is to put in containment lines around the fire edge to contain the fire within them lines, and also access for the fire tankers to get in and extinguish the fire to the edge, try to keep it within them lines.
For the bulldozer drivers, so far, it's been a losing battle.
The wind's just been all over the place. It's just twists and turns of bloody fire. And 1 minute you're alongside the fire with the dozers, and the next minute it's coming at you. You get a containment line in, and the next minute the wind sends it in the opposite direction. So all that you've worked for, you've lost. Just suck it up and keep going, I guess. No one will give in. You can't.
The flames advance at a frightening pace. 3 bulldozer drivers send out an SOS. They need rescuing from the heart of the inferno. Ricky responds immediately.
Best I can say, hold on.
50700,
But in the chaos, his orders on where to go and who to rescue first keep changing.
There, Ricky.
Yeah, I got you.
Turn around.
What are we doing? Back to the quarry?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
You have to find somewhere for you to turn now.
Got to get up the thing first. Yeah, I'm coming up. I'm there coming.
Ricky needs to get back down to the quarry to rescue another dozer driver.
If we don't get these fellas out of this quarry, we won't be able to get back in here to get them. So we've got to get them out of here quick. Come on.
At the bottom of the hill, 2 carloads of tourists appear out of nowhere, driving straight into the danger zone.
Who in their right mind would want to come out here? Pull them up, mate. Send them out. Bloody idiots. Bloody tourists. Why the hell would you want to me up the bastards? Why would you want to come out to a fire?
Time is running out for the stranded drivers. Hot embers are leaping ahead of the main fire front.
Look up on the back there. You see where that fire was behind us was spotted. Spotted in 2 places there. And we get these blokes out of it while we can, while we can still get in here.
Ricky's beaten the fire front to the quarry. It's a race against the clock to get man and machine out of danger.
We'll run you down to Southwood and get you out of it. We'll just drop this one off and we'll just go straight back. Straight back and pick Charles up.
Ricky drops one dozer in the safe zone. But extreme heat forces the second driver to evacuate the quarry on his own. With a top speed of 16 kilometres per hour, the flames could overtake him within minutes.
Just sneaking back out here to get the second dozer now. Go and get Charles. It might be a little bit worse up here, so get in and out quick. We're here. Thank Christ. We're here in a safe zone, so... Hey, look at that. We're leaking my radiator. Bloody hot. Bloody stressful. Here's the cavalry's turned up. What have we got here?
With the fires continuing to ravage the forests, lives and homes are being threatened. For Ricky, there's no time to rest.
We've got to go out past all the burnt, try and cut it off coming down over the bank or something, I think. So we've got to get moving. She's pretty bloody steep, very hard pull.
The fire's not the only danger Ricky needs to be aware of.
Get these big trees, any of the bastards could be burnt to the point and they could fall over at any time. The last thing we want is for something with about 50, 60 tonne to come and land on the roof. They could come down anywhere, anytime. Here we go, back up the bloody hill again. Still got a bit more steeper to go yet. She's been a bit hard on us. She's one of the biggest pools in Australia coming up here. Yeah, she's got it pretty well up in the temperature. Bit of skipping, bit of spinning, bit of lugging back to about 900 revs. Old girl, she done well. We're up on the top here now, so she hasn't done a bad job. Get out and unchain him so we can put him, he can get to work.
The dozers begin to clear fire breaks, but high winds are forcing a fire front to the top of the mountain. Ricky needs to be ready to get the dozers out in a hurry.
Well, we've got to keep an eye on the wind and that, because if it changes, it can race this one here straight up the bank towards us. So if we've got to go, we've got to go.
The fire's picked up speed, moving through the forest at over 10 kilometres an hour.
They've decided that there's too much fire activity going through the dozers, and they're pulling them out again.
The evacuation is too late. Within minutes, the flames are licking at the top of the mountain.
Very spooky, very eerie. Look at that wind. The wind's really picking up. If it keeps at that stage, it will start blowing embers.
The fire front shifted so fast, Ricky and the dozer drivers are now cut off.
I was told we was going to meet him here. Now he's saying they might be going to get us to try and go up over the top of the hill and pick him up the top of the hill there. But I don't know why, I don't know what's going on.
The flames intensify. It's a firestorm.
I think she's time to head for the hills, boys.
Look up here.
Trapped in a hellish inferno, truck driver Ricky Sutcliffe faces an ash tornado.
Watch out behind you. Look at it go.
Further up the hill is bulldozer driver Ernie Harvey. Fate unknown.
Can I drive up through that? Drive up there, pick that dozer up, have that wing spin round, blow it straight in the windscreen. They can stick that up their arse. I'm not going up there.
It's too risky for Ricky's large rig. A fire truck heads up to look for Ernie.
Well, the fire break they thought was successful wasn't. It's jumped them.
Ricky prepares the trailer, hoping for Ernie and his dozer to emerge unscathed.
We just want to get it on and get it out of here quick.
The truckers have had no radio contact with Ernie for 40 minutes.
Look up here. Poor little possum, look at him. He's shaking his head, he's been burnt.
It's an agonising wait. But the fire truck returns alone, unable to battle through the blaze. For Ernie Harvey to get out, he'll need to drive through a wall of flame.
Oh, look.
Ernie's made it out.
Pretty wild up there, mate. The wind changed around southerly and come back at us on our containment lines. I had no choice but to come back through the flames. Otherwise I would have been stuck up in there, so we got pretty hairy up there for a bit. So I was lucky to get out, really.
With the fire front about to hit, the team need to get out fast and make it down the mountain.
The fire's jumped the containment line up there. In other words, it's jumped the fire break, so this is where it's heading for. Where we are now, this is the way it's running. We want to get out, because no one wants to be in the middle of this when it comes racing down through them gullies. I'm coming out.
With not a second's rest, the radio brings another urgent request for a dozer.
Halfway out.
The fire has reached the edge of town. Homes are burning.
There's some bad shit going down out there. No matter how hard we go, like how hard we go to get these dozers there and how hard they go to put them tracks in, it's just another kick in the guts every bloody day. Going out to fire break around the house might be a little bit too late. Fire's going around the house here already, apparently, so these boys are going to have to absolutely get cracking up here. Get the f***ing thing out of the way!
There's a house just over here and the fire's coming at it rather fast.
The fire reaches the fence line and the trees surrounding the house are already alight.
Fire, she's racing through there, heading straight for us.
With the dozers off the trailer, Ricky needs to clear out fast. The fire is racing towards him.
We got to go in a minute. There's nothing we can do, so we best get out of that.
Suddenly, the wind changes direction, and Ricky is driving straight into the inferno.
Flames that tower over the truck, both sides at the same time, and it's terrifying. First thing that comes into your mind is, what do I do? Do I just slam on the brakes and go backwards, or do I just hold it flat and get out of it? You're full of diesel, you've got hydraulic oil spilled over you from the dozers, and that stuff's flammable, and that's the scary part.
Ahead, the wall of fire is impassable. Ricky needs to head back the way he came.
Where the f***'s the Denison turn off?
But he can't find a place to turn his 20-metre trailer around. Eventually, he spots an opportunity.
back there, she's just had a big blow up and she's just gone apeshit. All up the side of the road, across the road over onto the Denison side, and she's just beating us at every turn.
It's been a day of defeat. Finally, some good news.
Oh, you never believe it, we've got a victory. I got a fire breaking around Heinz's house. The fire just blazed through, blazed around the break, still burning a little bit here and there, and it's gone. Gone back the other direction, so. Victory, saved his house.
And there's more good fortune. A desperately needed rain shower.
It's got to help in ways, I suppose. Keep the fuel damp and the grasses damp and stop it from travelling so quick, which gives everyone a chance to sort of get in and extinguish it or get some brakes around it.
The war against the fire is far from over, but today's battle has been won.
Pretty good, actually. That something actually turned out good for once, rather than going home feeling depressed of the night. We've had some victories. The first since it actually started. Because we just want the big bugger out. We won't give up on it. We'll just keep going.